NBA picks and player props predictions for today in the NBA playoffs. It's Friday, May 15th. I'm Myguyknowsaguy. This is my sports predictions channel. Let's continue. I can't believe we've almost reached the conference finals. We didn't have any games yesterday, but the picks that I shared in my last video went 1-4, unfortunately. A few of the bets that I shared in that video were smaller plays, but I must say that I was a bit unlucky to see that Pistons-Cavs game go into overtime. I bet Cavs-Pistons game 5 to go under 211.5, and that was just tough to see, although I actually wasn't home for the game. I was attending the Toronto Tempo WNBA game that night. Either way, one of my other bigger bets did hit with the under 27.5 points with Donovan Mitchell, but I will say this. I will never bet on Jalen Tyson again. Generally, I don't make excuses, but I want to remind you to always be responsible with your sports betting. Remember that you're always in control of your funds. Don't bet more than you can afford to lose. With that said, I do have a couple more picks to share in today's video. Hit the like button for me and subscribe to my channel. Turn notifications on. Here are my NBA best bets for today. Pistons versus Cavaliers game 6. Spurs versus Timberwolves game 6. It's very possible that as many as 2 teams could go to Cancun tonight. How do you feel about these games? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Going to start with Pistons Cavs game 6 here. The Cavs seemingly took control of the series, going up 3-2 after that decent comeback performance against the Pistons on the road in game 5, forcing overtime. They got big performances from James Harden, Max Strus, and Evan Mobley. The Pistons actually won the turnover battle in game 5, and they still lost the game, something that doesn't happen very often in the modern era in the playoffs. The reason they lost that game is pretty simple. No one else stepped up offensively besides Cade Cunningham. Cade has put this team on his back time and time again, and they wasted a 39-point Cade Cunningham performance. Once again, first-time All-Star Jalen Duren was a no-show. It seems like he's going to cost himself tens of millions of dollars in the free agency market with his next contract for being a consistent no-show during the postseason this year. Paul Reed stepped up admirably for the Pistons, but Duncan Robinson missed game 5. Tobias Harris went under his points prop total in back-to-back games. The Cavs did an excellent job defending Tobias in that game. He went 6 for 19 from the field, a terrible performance for a player that was pretty consistent in the postseason this year before the last 2 games. I was pretty surprised to see the amount of free throws that the Cavs did attempt in game 5. They attempted 38 free throws compared to just 20 for the Pistons. I'm not sure if it was favoritism, but the Cavs definitely were the more physical team in the second half, being able to get to the free throw line at a rapid clip, hitting 31 of those 38 free throw attempts. Taking a look at the injury report for today's game, Duncan Robinson and Caris LeVert are both questionable once again. Kevin Huerter is also questionable for the Pistons here, although he hasn't played much in the postseason this year. I don't like what I'm seeing from this Pistons offense over the last few games in this series. We've only been able to hit over 11 threes as a team once in this series so far. With both Duncan Robinson and Caris LeVert not being 100% at the moment, there just isn't enough offensive firepower in this Pistons rotation. I did say that I expected Ausar Thompson to bounce back in game 5, and he did just that defensively. He did an outstanding job when matched up with Donovan Mitchell for most of that game, but it didn't matter because James Harden, Evan Mobley, I mean, they're flowing offensively at the moment. I can see a path for the Pistons to maybe cover the spread or win the game tonight if Duncan Robinson looks like his usual self, and that's if he plays. And also the Pistons would have to get a favorable whistle, something that we saw the Cavs receive in game 5, as I said earlier. But my official bet in this game is actually going to be on the total again. I do feel that I was a bit unfortunate with that game going to overtime in game 5. I think we're going to get a lower scoring game within regulation once again here. My first official bet for today's video is the Pistons and Cavaliers to go under 210.5 at -110 odds to win 1 full unit. I bet that line on FanDuel. Moving on to the game that so many people are anticipating tonight as well. Spurs, Timberwolves, game 6. Minnesota is at home here with their back against the wall. They did a great job winning 2 games in this series, but as we all know, if they fail to win tonight, they will be going home. Anthony Edwards does not look like his usual self in terms of his explosiveness on the offensive side of things. He wasn't able to get to his spots on the floor in game 5. He looked a bit indecisive as well, but there's going to be a lot of pressure on this Minnesota coaching staff today to lean on Ant-Man to get them to the finish line, or at least extend the series tonight. Julius, Randle, and Rudy Gobert were net negatives in game 5. In other words, they both stunk it up on the court. Julius Randle did heat up towards the end. Either way, it didn't matter with the way Wemby was playing on both ends of the floor. He set the tone offensively in the first half, and in the second half, he was a defensive menace. Stephon played really well in that game defensively as well, but Keldon Johnson and Dylan Harper were definitely the X factors in the second half. Their performances helped the Spurs create a ton of separation. They responded to every Timberwolves run in that game. It was really impressive to see. Now, we all know that Minnesota has really developed a solid home court advantage. That crowd is really lively up there in Minnesota. The energy is going to be electric in this must-win game tonight. My next bet in this video is actually going to be a player prop. I'm targeting De'Aaron Fox of the San Antonio Spurs. I think this Minnesota team is going to play a bit better defensively today against this Spurs backcourt. De'Aaron Fox has had a couple of decent games in this series, but he's actually been a bit inefficient in terms of his advanced scoring metrics. I also think it's highly likely that De'Aaron Fox will defer to Wemby once again here. My next official bet in this video is De'Aaron Fox of the San Antonio Spurs to go under 17.5 points at -115 odds to win one full unit. I grabbed that line on DraftKings. I've shared 2 different 1-unit bets in this video so far, but I have another bet to share in this Spurs Timberwolves game. It's going to be a smaller bet, but I want to ask you once again to hit the like button and leave a comment below. The Spurs and Timberwolves have actually had 2 days of rest to prepare for this huge Game 6 matchup tonight. A lot of people think that Game 6 is going to go over because of the extra rest tonight, but I'm actually on the other side here. I think that the extra rest is going to help them play better defensively in this game tonight, particularly Minnesota. Fatigue is always a factor this time of year, especially for a team like Minnesota that does have a tighter rotation. My next official bet in this video is Spurs Timberwolves Game 6 to go under 218.5 at -110 odds to win one full unit. You can actually grab that line at 219.5 right now on BetMGM, but I actually bet the under on FanDuel here. I don't have access to BetMGM at this exact moment. Hit the like button for me and leave a comment below about anything NBA related. Subscribe to my channel now and turn notifications on. Follow me on social media at Myguyknowsaguy. Best of luck with all of your NBA picks and player props predictions for today. I'll see you next time. Hit the like button for me and leave a comment below about anything NBA related. Subscribe to my channel now and turn notifications on. Follow me on social media at Myguyknowsaguy. Best of luck with all of your NBA picks and player props predictions for today. I'll see you next time. Always be responsible with your sports betting. Remember that you're always in control of your funds. Don't bet more than you can afford to lose.